Dun dun dun.
Wow. Talk about dramatic.
Dramatic, you say?
Yeah, because what are we talking about this episode? At Instant Replay.
We'll talk about drama on this Instant Replay podcast today.
Who are you?
My name is Sar Mustafa.
This is so off the cuff. I love it. And my name is Zohaib Naqvi.
Welcome to today's show. We hope you enjoy it because everybody loves drama.
Yes, they
That's
do.
why we watch One Tree Hill. That's why we watch Gilmore Girls.
Only Sarim.
But today,
no one else.
We're going to talk about drama in the NBA. Stay tuned.
Yeah, we're going to talk about drama. Let's roll. Lots of drama in the league, Sarim.
It's been a shitty 2017 so far.
What do you mean? Why?
Well, that's what LeBron James said.
Oh, LeBron James. He's been in the news for the last little while talking about how bad his team has been.
Oh, yeah, it feel like we lost 5 out of 7 now. It feel like that. Yeah, we got to figure it out. It's been 2017, so.
I thought you were talking about how he's been in the news for the past 14 years because LeBron James is one of the most
all the
polarizing players out there in the NBA.
Yeah, you either love him or you hate him.
There is no middle ground on that. And I've fell on both sides of the spectrum.
When did you hate him? Decision?
Decision
okay.
was it. And then over the past couple of years, I'm just like, this guy is way too good. And he doesn't he's not boastful. He'll say some things that may rub you the wrong way.
Yeah.
But then there's guys like Draymond Green that rub people the wrong way.
For sure.
Again, I love Draymond Green.
For sure.
Joakim Noah says things like, a couple years ago he was a guy. People don't like Boogie.
Yeah.
But LeBron James backs it up
by
being in the championship games every single year.
I agree.
Who does this? How many years has it been now? What, 6, 7?
6 years in a row.
Well, let's just say 7 because he'll be there this year
exactly.
as well.
That's true.
And you have people that can't appreciate that because he does that with a team that was built, that was constructed around him.
Yeah.
We'll talk about built bought in a
Yeah. Constructed around him. Good choice of words. I see how you're thinking about the word that you want to use because you can't say build because they're all free agents.
They're all free agents.
Yeah, so bought potentially. Yeah, you could argue that. I mean,
we'll talk about that for sure.
Yeah. And then so I guess, the question really is, do you agree with what LeBron's approach has been this week in terms of, in terms of calling out his players, calling out management, saying we need a fucking playmaker?
I think the NBA atmosphere is changing.
Okay.
And players are using media as an outlet to voice their concerns more than they would have in the past. And
for sure.
They're okay with the fines that come along with that.
For sure.
LeBron James is an extremely smart player. So extremely smart person, player, businessman. So I'm sure he's gone to Dan Gilbert and talked about this.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's an extremely smart person, and we don't see emotion really on the court. Anytime there's a fight or something, you see LeBron James usually walking away, right? He's a smart player. He knows his value. He knows that if he leaves the court, it's going to be bad for his team. So to see him kind of come out, and publicly say this shows he's fed up. You know what I mean? He wouldn't react this way after a couple losses. This seems to be a serious problem for the Cavs. And so his quote is, let's read it out here. We're not better than last year from a personnel standpoint. We're a top-heavy team. I just hope we're not satisfied. It's like when you don't have bodies, it's tough. We're top-heavy as shit. It's me, Kyrie, Kevin. It's top-heavy. I'm not singling out anybody. I'm not. Yeah, we won the championship, but fuck. You know what? Let's see if we can do something. So, Sarim, what's your reaction to this quote?
I think that's a very dangerous thing to say. And the reason being, when you say top heavy, you're saying we're good from 1 through 3 or 1 through 5. Everybody else, not so much. Why that's a problem is because you have 15 people on a team. And in the past, the situation used to be that you'd build the people on your team. Whoever's not doing well, you work with them to get them to a point where maybe number 12 is not good, so you bring number 13 who surpasses them. Now the understanding is if you're not good, you're going to be waived and you're going to bring somebody else on that would replace them.
Right.
And that's problematic because you're not the whole idea of a team is you work and you build and over time you get better. That's no longer the case in the NBA. You buy to win now. LeBron James is 32 this year.
Well, that was part of his comment too, right? He said,
it was.
I don't got many years or something because I'm turning 33.
His biological clock is running.
He's going to hit menopause.
Metaphorically speaking.
Yes, exactly.
Otherwise, we'd have a question about why he's playing in the NBA.
Yes.
But LeBron James is 32 years old. He's got 3 championships. We know he's chasing Michael Jordan. We know he wants that GOAT title. And he may get there.
Yeah.
Because he's got, let's say, 3 to 4 good years.
For sure.
And the East is not getting strong enough for the next 3 to 4 years for anybody to challenge him. Sans Raptors, maybe the Celtics, and if somebody pops up and does a great job.
Yeah.
So what I don't like about his comments is you're a leader. And we'll talk about other teams as well when it comes to leadership, but you are the leader of this team. You're supposed to rally your troops together.
Yeah.
And to have the audacity to come out and say that we're not good enough. You've been to the championship 6 years in a row. What do you need? Like 7 All-Stars on your team?
And you're clear cut winning the East again.
There is no question about that.
There's no question.
It's because when you want, you'll turn it on, and there'll be a 7-game gap between you and the Raptors.
They don't even need to come in the first seed. Like they don't need that in the East. They could come lower. They could if they were to mess up every game and let's say end up in the 8th. They're still the favorites to win.
Of course.
Right? They could lose home court in every single series and still be the favorite to win.
You can sit off one of the big 3 every game. You'd still manage to win a handful of those games. You'd still end up you'll end up in the playoffs, and then you'll end up in the finals.
I think he's more frustrated, to be quite honest, by the fact that he's averaging like 40-plus minutes in these losses. Right? That is crazy for a guy who's playing. Firstly, he's had more minutes than any play, like Michael Jordan already. He's had at this point in his career, he has more minutes than Kobe Bryant at this point in his career. And naturally, that's because he's gone so deep in the playoffs every single year. And so I think his standpoint is he doesn't want another franchise player. He's not asking for like a all-star. He's asking for someone that can control the tempo so that him and Kyrie don't have to average the 40-plus minutes that they're averaging. You know what I mean?
When did this become a thing that players sort of dictate their front office to decide for them?
Well, the way that now these stars are, like he's a once-in-a-lifetime star, he's going to pick what he wants to do.
I never watched Michael Jordan play. I love Michael Jordan, but my recollection of Michael Jordan is through all the video clips and all the comments that I hear about him.
Yeah.
No one has ever, in the time that I've heard about Michael Jordan or talked about Michael Jordan, has come up and said, Michael Jordan didn't want to play that much.
Yeah, I would agree with you, but Michael Jordan has said himself when he hears, let's say, a guy like Kobe play 36 minutes in his like 35-year-old body, he was like, that's ludicrous. Like Michael Jordan has said that when he heard Kobe was doing that. So to say LeBron at 33 is playing 40 plus, maybe it's not that far of a stretch.
Maybe not, but while you're in the game, while you're part of it, you can't sit back anymore. You can't sit back like when you retire and say, you know what? Maybe I did play too much.
Right.
You're in this. You have to have the mindset that this is your last year. Like you play like this is your last game. You should always do that. Yeah. And I feel like people in this game, in this age now, don't do that anymore.
No, you might be right about that. I don't think people play it, especially these guys. I don't think that's a separate topic, and I agree with you that definitely players are just taking casual rest because they want to rest. They're not playing like the way that everyone used to play back in the day in terms of, every game we got to go out. I mean, Michael Jordan playing in the flu game, which is legendary. Like they're still playing. They're trying their best. And that's that's a different, like the whole idea when LeBron went to the Indiana game and there was only one game in Indiana and he sat off, right? And whoever bought that ticket basically paid a premium because we know when LeBron comes to Toronto,
we're
right?
paying that premium to
we pay
watch
a
LeBron
premium
James,
to
not
pay
to watch
LeBron
the
James.
Cleveland Cavaliers.
It's called a super premium ticket. That's what it's called. If you go to them, it'll be a super premium ticket. And so, I get that standpoint and I get, where you're coming from. But I think specific to this quote, I think this, in my opinion, this is more to send a message to the front office. But does a message really need to be sent to the front office? I mean, they've tried their best to put a team that is full of fantastic three-point shooters around you exactly like the way you want.
You asked for that first.
Yeah.
You've been asking for somebody to help you spread the floor.
For
so
sure.
You can drive and kick out so they can make the basket. You
For
get
sure.
Kyle Korver, who is amazing for exactly what you need. Spot-up shooter, catches the ball, shoots, and you've been asking for that. They deliver.
Yeah.
Now your issue is you need somebody who's a playmaker.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the next issue going to be? You're a championship caliber team. You can't just keep asking for more and more.
I would agree with you, especially considering the fact that, last year, according to a Forbes report, so 15-16 season, Cleveland had an operating loss of $40 to $50 million, and that's because payroll, meaning the Cleveland
Luxury
owners,
tax.
paid a luxury tax, which is the highest in the NBA, of $54 million.
And they're the highest salary team this year again.
Are you what? Like, I just don't get why. I mean, this is proof. This is proof that Dan Gilbert, I hate him. I hate Dan Gilbert. But this is proof why, to show that he is doing everything literally in his power to get you what you need, and yet you're still complaining.
That's $50 million out of his own pocket that he's giving up.
Yeah.
Not for a star, not for a bunch of players, but this is luxury tax he's paying because he's going above and beyond to make the team better.
Yeah.
The team better for you to operate in Cleveland, because the fear always will be that the team's not going to be good and LeBron James is going to leave.
That is
Cleveland.
literally what he can hold against any team.
Yeah, and this is what he's saying. I feel like he says these things in public because then when it doesn't happen, then he can say, you know what? I've asked for this over and over again, repeatedly voice my concern, and nobody's doing anything. So if I leave, this is why I'm leaving. And all the power to him to leave. He's brought a championship to Cleveland now. He's literally done
He can't
what
leave.
he promised.
He can't leave.
He can't leave, but he's
It would hurt his brand too much. He can't leave.
I wouldn't be like I was when he first left. And I feel like a lot of NBA fans would not be as appalled as they were when LeBron James first left.
I think they would be appalled.
Maybe.
Not to the extent.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's because I was appalled by more so, like, majority of the people were appalled by the decision, right? The fact that he did this whole TV special, which I remember watching.
My talents too.
This fall, man, this is tough.
South Beach.
I remember it perfectly. Man, this is tough. This fall, I'm going to be taking my talents to South Beach. Like, what do you mean? What? Why do you need a special for that? Sign it. Just sign the papers. Get the hell out of here.
You're not a movie star.
Yeah.
You're not an actor.
Well, clearly he wanted to be that day.
Maybe.
Let's not live in the past. He brought a championship.
But you know what's funny in this situation? $10 million is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And with luxury tax, it would have ended up being close to $30 million.
For sure.
But do you keep Dellavedova now?
I don't know, man.
If you go back, do you keep Dellavedova at his $9.6 million a year?
I just don't understand. I think he can be replaced. Like, I think they can, like, there's rumors now that they're looking for a Jameer Nelson, or they're looking for Shelvin Mack, right? Yeah. So there's rumors now that they're looking for those kind, and I think those kind of players are exactly what they need. They, like, what's Delly, I get it, was like a little pest when it came to defense, you know what I mean? And he was, like, sneaky when he held Todd Gibson's legs. Yeah. He was like a kind of a dirty player, people would call him, I get it, but that is something that can be replaced. That's hustle.
That's the difference, though. For me, I think hustle can't be replaced.
Right.
He was a decent enough playmaker. We saw him be in situations where he had to, facilitate, and he did that, which is a great thing. But now that he's gone, you've got Shelvin Mack, you've got Jameer Nelson, people talking about Jared Jack, and the interesting one is Mario Chalmers. Potentially coming back.
You're right.
So LeBron,
but he's not playing in the league right now, right?
I don't think he's playing.
Yeah,
last he
so
played
either.
was Memphis last year, from my understanding.
Yeah.
He would be somebody LeBron James played with. And LeBron James also always needs a punching bag. So Mario Chalmers would be great to bring on. One last thing I do want to say about this. You always talk about super teams like the Boston Celtics of the 2000s, the Boston Celtics of the 80s. You talk about Miami's big three. Let's actually take out the Bostons of the 80s for this part. These are all teams that are bought.
Yeah.
So to compare them to teams in the 90s, like Michael Jordan had a great team because he had Scottie Pippen, arguably the best Robin to a Batman ever.
Sure.
That was built from the ground up.
Yeah.
You brought pieces.
Yeah.
And you brought pieces like I think Horace Grant. You brought pieces like Rodman.
If I think I know where you're going. Keep going.
Yeah. And that's why those teams were great. You brought these pieces that were fairly young and you built them up, and that's how you won championships. To say that Michael Jordan had a full roster of players. You had the Boston Celtics of the 80s have a full roster of all-stars, potential Hall of Famers. That's not a comparison.
No,
You're
but he's
buying
not
a team.
looking for an all-star.
Let's
be real. He's not looking for an all-star. I'm just shocked that he's taking this to the extent you're gonna lose games. It's okay.
Somebody said this. I can't remember if it was one of the TNT crew or if it was the First Take crew, but they said, I think it was Ernie Johnson. He said, "You have a crew of a Ferrari,
Kenny Smith.
Kenny, yeah.
I know exactly where you're going. Yep.
Ferrari, Lamborghini, all these amazing supercars. You need an everyday commuter? You need a Chevy?
Yeah.
What do you need a Chevy for?
No.
You have 3 great cars. LeBron James can make up for that one small player that they want to get if he has to.
No, but he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to average in the regular season. He doesn't want to average 40 minutes.
That's not an option. You're the best player in the world right now.
No.
I don't care.
I disagree with you in that regard.
No,
I disagree.
The best player in the world asking for, hey, my productivity is 95. I need somebody to come in and give me 3. What do you can't do the 3 more?
No.
Yeah, you can.
Maybe his capacity at 33 is 95.
I disagree. LeBron James can do anything right now.
He's 40 plus minutes. He's playing the whole game.
Play 3 more minutes.
Are you crazy?
This is about
sorry, you can't say that. No, you can't. Listen, it's longevity too, right? You have to consider this guy has to go into the postseason. If he goes 48 minutes every night, he's not gonna have gas in the tank for the postseason.
So rest against the bad team. This is what the NBA is now, right? We're talking about reality. When you play a Orlando Magic, when you play a Miami Heat team,
his team won't win.
Sit down.
His team is 1-5 when he's not playing this season.
That's what I'm saying. Rest against the really bad teams.
No, but I'm telling you, that's a guaranteed loss.
But he hasn't sat down against terrible teams. It's just been a situation where he had to sit down. But it wasn't we're gonna sit you down, LeBron, for these 6 games against terrible teams. And oh my God, we lost these games. No, it's just LeBron James is hurt or LeBron James is something.
No. The Indiana game, for instance, that's the only one that comes to my mind right off the top. Yeah. But that one specifically was him at rest. Yeah. There's no injury. It's a rest. People were shocked by that.
I agree with what you're saying. In terms of longevity, say that word for me.
Longevity.
Thank you. I feel like he definitely needs to play 35 minutes or less a game. He has to average that if he needs to win 5 more championships.
Exactly.
For now, in the situation he is, stop complaining about somebody that's going to contribute a minute amount for your success this year.
Publicly. Add publicly.
Publicly.
Yes, that's the real issue. He shouldn't be complaining publicly. In the locker room, he can complain.
And this is an issue,
This is spanning the whole league this year.
League.
It's going across the board. It's now in whether you're the 1st seed
or
you're
the 8th seed or 7th seed or whatever you are.
Wherever you are.
In the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, it's the same thing that's happening with the Chicago Bulls, right?
And again, this is one of and I don't know how you'd classify it, but another Robin, a previous Robin to LeBron's Batman, in Dwayne Wade. And Dwayne Wade's a champion on his own, so he's a Batman in his own situation. Sure. So you are a leader.
Yep.
You've been in the situation where you've done it yourself. You've been in a situation where you've done it with LeBron James.
Yep.
And now you're in a team where things are just not working out for you. You're a little bit older.
Yeah.
The team's young, and there's a disconnect there.
Sure.
And you go out and you say things like the team doesn't care, and if they don't care, you can't care for them. I mean, that's you're going.
So I didn't like the fact that Dwayne Wade and Jimmy Butler both came out. Firstly, it's great that they're on the same page, but they both came out that same day publicly, and I would have expected more from naturally Dwayne Wade because he's a veteran. He's 35 years old. He's 3-time champion. He's all the all-stars you can get. And here's the audio clip.
I don't know what happened, but you continue to be in these kind of situations, lose games like this. When everyone don't care enough. You got to care enough, man. It got to mean that much to you to want to win, and it doesn't. So I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know how you fix it. It just doesn't mean enough for guys around here to want to win ball games.
And so he's basically calling out his team, saying,
yeah, and we're definitely gonna talk about. I want to read out Jimmy Butler's comment because, and we'll talk about I think which was worse, if both were worse, if there's a situation where you can say one of them or not. So Jimmy Butler said,
"Just gotta care if we win or lose. In end of the day, do whatever it takes to help the team win. You play your role to the team, be a star in your role, man. That's how you win in this league, man. You have to embrace what this team, what this organization needs for you to do on either end of the floor. And on top of everything else, man, just play every position. Every possession like it's your last. We don't play hard all the time, man. It's very disappointing whenever we don't play hard.
That's harsh.
That's harsh. I feel like that last comment, the last line, and I don't think everybody looks at it that way, is what makes it bad. But everything else he said, I'm reading this and I'm like, well, of course you're supposed to. This is your job. You love this. You bled. You sweat for this opportunity to be in the NBA. And these guys generally are younger. There's a few older guys like Taj Gibson and Rajon Rondo. But you're young guys. Like you still have that passion. You died for this.
You don't think they don't want to win? You really think there's an NBA player out there that doesn't want to win?
I think that people are not willing to put in the effort to win.
That level of effort, potentially, yeah. But the criticism, the counter criticism is, okay, Dwayne, you are 35 years old. This is what the younger guys have said, right? Dwayne, you're 35 years old. We get it, but we'd love to see you practice. Yeah. It's not like you're practicing at all. I know we're talking about practice. Practice, not the game. But you know what I mean? It just doesn't. It doesn't compute with me that you would call out the young guys. You guys are the leaders. And publicly. What's wrong with these NBA players? Everyone's just speaking into the mic. Control yourself. This is like the Twitter finger thing. You know what I mean? Instantly you go on a tweet and you tweet it, and then you regret it later. I can see your face what you're about to say.
No, I'm not thinking that. I was actually I wanted to make a side note about Iverson because I was watching the documentary on Netflix yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
And
is it good?
It's worth it.
Okay.
I've watched 3 or 4 documentaries on Iverson. He's a fun character in the NBA. He's the person who started the tattoo craze.
Yeah,
the
for
do-rag
sure.
craze.
Yeah.
The braids. He's the guy that single-handedly did that. So he had a massive impact on people. And the documentary was about how he should have realized that he was having an impact on the generation ahead, and we were affected by that.
I think he was just being himself, and he didn't realize, right?
He's like, you know what? If I could do it different, I would. But I was being myself. This is my first time into money. Anyway, the practice comment, because you just brought that up, was, and we know it was brought out of context because we
know what it is. Yeah,
we love everything about the NBA, so we know. But for the casual fan, the moment you talk about practice, you go, talk about practice.
Yeah.
His best friend died that year. He got kicked out of the NBA playoffs that game.
Yeah.
And he's like,
we're
talking about practice when this stuff is going on. My life is getting destroyed right now. Would I work to be a champion? I can't do that this year. My best friend is gone.
Right.
And we're going to sit here and you're going to ask me about practice.
Right.
So those were the controversies back then because, you'd put the mic in front of you, the player would say something and it'd be taken out of context. It's hard to take it out of context when you're the one.
No, this is clear cut. These quotes are clear cut.
Not even that, when you're the one that's going on to Instagram, for example. So Rajon Rondo went up to Instagram and
Yeah.
Do you have that up?
Yeah, I have it up here.
Okay, do you want to read it?
Yep. So it goes, my vets would never go to the media. This is on his Instagram account, and at the same time, he has a picture with KG and Paul Pierce.
I have a comment about that.
From the Boston days. Anyways, let's read the quote. They would come to the team. My vets didn't pick and choose when they wanted to bring it. They brought it every time they stepped in the gym, whether it was a practice or a game. They didn't take days off. My vets didn't care about their numbers. My vets played for the team. When we lost, they wouldn't blame us. They took responsibility and got in the gym. They showed the young guys what it meant to work. Even in Boston, when we had the best record in the league, if we lost a game, you could hear pin drop on the bus. They showed us the seriousness of the game. My vets didn't have an influence on the coaching staff. They couldn't change the plan because it didn't work for them. I played under one of the greatest coaches, and he held everyone accountable. It takes 1 to 15 to win. When you isolate everyone, you can't win consistently. I may be a lot of things, but I'm not a bad teammate. My goal is to pass what I learned along. The young guys work. They show up. They don't deserve blame. If anything is questionable, it's the leadership. Fire!
So a few
Drop
things.
the mic now. Oh, I'm
Drop
gonna
the
drop. I can't drop this. Salt bait. Go on.
So I'm going to talk about Rondo for a second here. Rondo got suspended on the 5th of December against Portland because the prior game he had an altercation with one of the assistant coaches. Since Rondo has had that altercation, the team has gone 13-17. That is a pretty bad, if you're in a playoff team, which they are right now, that's a terrible stretch of 30 games to go. They're 4-7 in the last game. So Rondo, when he comes out and says these things, I'm not going to give a lot of credence to that because you're doing exactly what they're doing. You're just using a different social media outlet to do that.
Sure.
You could have gone to Dwayne Wade or Jimmy Butler and said this. But this
you're calling
is
out Rondo, eh?
This is stoking the fire.
You're calling out Rondo.
I am calling out Rondo because Rondo consistently he has problems with George Karl last year. He had problems in the end of his term in Boston.
Okay, time out.
And one last thing.
Okay, go on.
You put up a picture of your leaders in Boston. There was a big 3 in Boston. You put up Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce. What are you so petty that?
No, maybe Ray Allen wasn't a leadership guy.
Are you so?
Stop!
Are you
Stop.
so petty
He's not.
that
You're
going
reaching.
to put
You're
a picture
reaching. You're
of 2
reaching.
of the big 3? I know I'm reaching, but he's like, this is my 3rd draft, so you had time to think about what you were going to write. And what picture to
he
put
wrote
up.
several drafts out.
Yeah,
and he talked to KG about it before it went. And
no, he said I wrote 3 drafts.
Yeah, I know. And he talked to KG.
Yeah.
Should I be doing this or something? Like he had a conversation with him before it went live.
And Ray Allen is a leader.
You don't know that.
We know that he's a leadership.
Maybe he wasn't as much of a leader on that team. Maybe it was like I know for a fact that KG is like we all know.
Yeah.
KG is super outspoken.
Yeah.
Right. We know for a fact also Paul Pierce is
pretty
super
outspoken. Yeah.
It's very outspoken. Do we know Ray Allen is an outspoken guy? He's a very professional guy.
Very professional guy, but he's been in leadership positions since he came into the league.
He has been, but there's a different kind of leadership that he's kind of referring to, right?
Maybe.
These guys are outspoken guys, and on top of that, they never came out and publicly shunned the rest of the team.
You know, we talk about guys that pad their stats, and there's one guy that's averaging a triple-double this year that everyone's like, he's padding his stats. He's leading to wins. Rondo seems like he's padding his stats all the time. So that's at the detriment of the team. And to talk about leadership when you're one of the veterans on this team and to do it in the way you did it, it just rubs you the wrong way.
So from your perspective, Rondo got rubbed the wrong way. I have no problem with what Rondo's doing. I think I think those two, meaning Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade, definitely need to be called out. I think that's unfair for them to call out the younger teammates. Like, stop. You guys are the leaders, right? It's a reflection. It is a reflection on you as the leaders to get your younger guys going. You know what I mean? Like, in his last couple of years, Kobe, in my opinion, was not a good leader. Because in his last couple of years with the young squad, he would always want the ball. He would want to take over. He would want to, and even after that, I didn't see him calling out his teammates like this.
Yeah.
And he had a worse team.
You're absolutely right. You can't.
To me, the issue really is Dwayne Wade and Jimmy Butler should not, as good leaders, be calling out their teammate publicly. This is going back to the same LeBron thing. You stop talking into the mic, people. Control yourselves. Talk in the locker room. The locker room is sacred. Whatever you say in the locker room will stay in the locker room. Call whoever the hell you want to call in the locker room.
While I don't agree with what LeBron did because he's smarter than this, I feel like he did it because he's trying to, twist somebody's arm. What Jimmy Butler and what Dwayne Wade did is, well, according to Fred Hoiberg, he said players can't air their grievances in public. Like, it's not allowed. So you bench these two guys in the next game for the first little part. They both have dismal games. Jimmy Butler probably had the worst game of his career, shooting 1 for 13.
Yeah, it was the worst game of his career.
And it's just like this team's in some sort of bad position. The one thing that you mentioned, how players called out Dwayne Wade for not being at practice, and the Rondo comment on Wade. Wade took that all and he's like, hey, what am I gonna do? Start arguing these and fighting these guys? No, I'm not there for practice, and maybe I should be there more. And
he doesn't even need to go there. Like, I don't think they expect him to play like constant minutes. It's just be there.
Yeah, you're a leader.
Be there. On top of that, play half speed. Do something.
Yeah.
Stretch. Like, be there. Call out people while you're there. You know what I mean? Like, let them hear your voice. They know you're a 3-time champion.
If you're a leader, you're there, and you're playing and practicing, then nobody's going to get upset when Dwayne Wade, 3-time NBA champion, comes up to you and says, hey, you're doing this wrong, or maybe you should do this way.
Totally.
But when Dwayne Wade does that from behind a mic, then everyone gets upset.
For sure. I totally agree with you. And so, this is, in my opinion, okay, so let's hear it from you. Do you think Chicago makes the playoffs?
Yeah, I think Chicago makes the playoffs.
What seed? They're 8th right now, let's say. Do you think they stay at 8th, or do you think they're able to recover?
I think they'll
this?
get to about 7, maybe. I don't know what the standings are, but let's see here.
I think they get knocked off.
You think they get knocked off?
I think they are too dysfunctional to regroup from this. And unless they make a trade or something, I think they get knocked off.
I think they can stay 7th.
You think they'll stay 7th, eh? Okay, fair enough. Okay, cool. So we'll see at the end of the season how these guys turn around. Clearly, there's a lot of drama in the league across the board.
I feel like, okay, we can talk about other teams as well, but we don't have the time. We got Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, God.
That's a never-ending saga.
That
gives me so much joy.
You're just a mean person, man. You're just a mean, horrible person.
I've been saying this for years that he is not a good player, and there's somebody in the room always defending Carmelo Anthony.
I am totally on board with Carmelo. I think his time's up in terms of the New York Knicks, and that's that.
His time
but he
was
will
up
add
the moment
value.
He signed his contract with New York.
Nope. He took him to the playoffs. That's all you can expect from Carmelo. He's never made it to. I don't think Carmelo's ever made it past the second round.
He's never made it past the second round.
Yeah. Oh, sounds like another favorite
we're not
player,
gonna
right?
talk about this right now.
Tracy McGrady, Sarn's favorite player of all time. I just want to say it's his favorite
finals
player of all time.
With the Spurs.
Nope, doesn't count.
Always counts.
All right. Well, guys, hope you guys enjoyed that podcast. We really love talking about drama in the league. It's like the Real Housewives, of the NBA right now.
Yeah, but now you don't need the wives anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you've got the players going at it, and
exactly. You can make a reality show this year.
You could make a reality show for the past couple of years right now with so much drama.
Yeah, exactly.
And they'll make so many documentaries out of this.
I'm sure they will. Yep. All right, guys. Well, this is us signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Thanks so much for listening. This is Sar Mustafa.
This is Zoeb Nakvi. See you guys.